Bom dia, hola, good morning, and welcome back to the adventures of the Clueless Camper. It's been quite a while now since I made a mini series from my old van, where I just kind of bought it, didn't have a clue what I was doing, ended up getting stuck a lot, decided to just drive out into the middle of nowhere, made it to the ferry port, and then eventually made it to the Netherlands where I had no intent on being. But yeah, I had the time of my life. I didn't have things like a toilet, a shower, very minimal kitchen facilities. I learned a lot on the way, but I was very much clueless, hence the name The Clueless Camper. Uh, Fast forward a couple of years, and I now have built my dream van, my Alegria, which is named after the feeling you get in Ibiza, the feeling of pure joy and happiness, which is both a Spanish and a Portuguese word. I based my van on Ibiza. It's inspired by like the beach clubs and the villas of Ibiza. It's very much laid out in a way that the lights and the plants can be the feature. Um, and I am so happy it's finally got built. It took a couple of years. My dad helped me a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. I remember just buying the van and sitting in the middle of it and thinking, wow, what have I got myself in for here? But anyway, I did so much research. I figured out what I wanted, came up with ideas, sat on it for a while. When I had my old van as well, I always knew I was going to build this. Nearly quit a few times because I have a habit of spending all my money on like outrageous holidays abroad. But anyway, I eventually decided to take the plunge, put everything I've got in, and then build the van. And finished it in February this year, and was about to take it on the road. And then, hey, COVID-19 happened. So I basically couldn't use it for a while. And as lockdown eased off a bit, I decided to, go on some adventures in Devon and Cornwall. But I always felt this calling abroad. I always wanted to come to Portugal in my van, but the amount of people that come here kind of put me off a bit. So I was planning on going to Norway and Sweden, Switzerland, where apparently the clubs are still open, or were anyway at the time. But I realised it was quite impractical. And as winter was approaching, I thought, well, it's a perfect time to come somewhere hot and sunny. And I came to Portugal. I don't even know why. I think I've learned to trust my intuition quite a bit. Um, and I've been speaking with a therapist. I've done a lot of reading over the past few years. I've been on an incredible journey. And I've been in an amazing place, but I always knew there were some things like stored up in my body that I needed to release. And I needed someone to just help me navigate them so I could go from a great place to an incredible place. Um, and as a result of that, I think I can handle anything in life right now. And believe me, I've been thrown some curveballs. I'm very comfortable with what is. I'm very comfortable with things going wrong. I'm comfortable with the days when I feel a bit shit, when I feel lazy or lethargic, which are rare. I can experience joy in those moments and peace. I don't think, yeah, I can't remember the last day I was like actually miserable. Um, I felt down sometimes, but I still experience joy in these moments. And I would recommend chatting to a therapist for anyone. It only took like 3 or 4 phone calls, but he was able to get what was needed out of me really quick and address these things. And as a result, it's improved my relationships with my family, my friends, and myself, most importantly, myself. But anyway, like I put some of it down to van life. I came to Portugal. My plan was to go to Marbella and then make my way along the coast. But I touched down in Portugal, and yeah, someone told me that in Nazaré there was record-breaking surf. Nazaré is a place with some of the world's best surfers. It is, and these two superstorms were like converging and merging in the Atlantic, which would push the swell all the way down to Portugal. And some of the world's best surfers, big wave surfers, were there, and it was incredible. It was not COVID safe, but that, you know, given the fact I was living in a van and not really seeing anyone for a while, and after Nazaré was going to be on my own for a while, I decided to take the risk. I've got many reasons. I'll probably talk about them in another video, but it, yeah, essentially boils down to previous things that have happened in my life and my refusal to repress my emotions and various other things for a risk of getting ill when I haven't been ill in years and years. So yeah, anyway, I could really go into it now, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to bore you with it. I'm going to put it in a separate video. But yeah, there was like 35,000 people there, and it was incredible to see these like 60, 70-foot waves forming, and then this tiny little dot just like zooming down. And just seeing the jet skis was incredible, like bouncing over the waves. I think at one point, like one flipped over. One of the surfers got pinned down by like 2 or 3 of these big waves at one point, and it was it's quite an eerie moment, but it was yeah, it was so exciting to watch. And then I came down to I've got to show you this, by the way. So I've been making my own coffee by grinding the beans every morning, and I use this grinder here, this Rhino grinder, and this handle, and I put it on, and I turn and turn and turn it, grind the coffee down, and it's quite a laborious process. But yesterday I had a bit of a situation where I went off the road to what looked like a gravel car park, and I got stuck. I made a video, so I'm going to post it separately to this one in a couple of days or so. But essentially, I cut my hand, and yesterday it was pretty bad. It's healed a lot today. I'm a fast healer, but because I was using this hand more, it's been aching quite a bit. So I looked at my coffee grinder this morning. I was like, "Fuck, I can't do this for like 5 minutes." As much as it is worth grinding the coffee for, this coffee's incredible. I didn't fancy that this morning, and I nearly went to instant coffee, which is a sin. But I came up with a new idea. I literally sat there for like a minute, and I thought, how can I do this? And then I remembered I had a drill, and I took the drill, I took the coffee grinder, and I kind of just like put it on, and then just slowly like turned it like this, and then got faster and faster, and before I knew it, coffee. It ground it in like 30 seconds flat. So yeah, and it tastes just as good. So I'm pretty chuffed with that. So yeah, I wanted to chat to you because I've basically been in the van a month now, and I've had the most amazing time. I didn't think I would feel so comfortable being in a van for so long, but I really do. Maybe because it's kind of like a studio apartment, the way I've built it. I mean, I've got a shower, got a juicer, got a sink, I've got a hob with 2 rings, like a wok burner, so I can make my stir fry on the go. I've got a microwave in here, oven grill, I've got plants, I've got a wine rack, more plants, got a toilet down there. I'll show you more of this in another video, but I've got everything I want. The plan was to run my company from the road, and that is going to plan. I made some changes in the company. I took someone I knew, and I basically like shifted my salary a bit because I didn't need as much to survive in a van, and it didn't make sense paying myself all this money when I could pay someone else and then live a more relaxed lifestyle. I had this plan to rent out my house and Airbnb back home, and then most of my income would come from that. It would fund everything. But unfortunately, another lockdown was announced, and I couldn't put my house on Airbnb anymore. So I was a little bit screwed. They introduced the furlough scheme just after I decided to cut my salary. So, yeah, and the month where I cut my salary was the month that they based the furlough on. So now I couldn't actually pay myself furlough, even though I'm working at reduced capacity. But I have used the opportunity to start a new company and do some consulting work, and that's starting to grow and grow, which is pretty exciting. But yeah, I'm still managing a team of 12 people. A few of them furloughed, but most of them are working now. But they're functioning like a well-oiled machine, and much of the company can almost run itself at the moment, which is quite nice. Um, I feel very privileged to be in this position, but I've made a lot of sacrifice to get there. I was always very career driven. I was always getting stressed out. I ended up in hospital because of it. I ended up in all sorts of bad places. I was always ill. I had to really shift my lifestyle to be happy, and the answer was never to get more money. It was never, ever, ever to get more money. I'm very fortunate to have got where I am. I've worked very hard for it, but I wouldn't recommend it for anyone. And now here I am living in a van, and I am living very minimally. I'm not spending very much. I've been out here a month in Portugal, and I'm so happy. Um, in combination with all like the journey I've been on, the spirituality, the therapist I spoke to a few times, uh, I've got myself to a really good place, and I'm very comfortable with what is. Um, in fact, I've never been so comfortable. Even in the days where I don't feel great, I still find joy, and that's such an incredible place to be in. But as I've travelled down through the coast and made it to like the Algarve, I've realised that there's so many more van lifers on the road. And if you think about coming here, I would err a side of caution. Um, you know, if you're the type of person that attracts trouble, you're probably going to get it. There's stories of rebels going around, like dragging people out their vans, kicking them, uh, punching vans, all this shit. Like the GNR, which is like the authority here, has been moving people on from illegally camping, um, and force people into a lot of campsites. I think if you're just sensible and you have your wits about you, you can be very happy and comfortable here. But if you're a bit of a dick and you're not nice to people, then you're going to get trouble. It's that simple. So yeah, if you think about coming here, just note it's like it is a little crowded in places. But yeah, if you have your wits about you, you'll do all right. As I have done. Um, I've been to places like this place south of Sines where there was a surf school and the perfect surf rolling in for days. It's great for a beginner like me, like 2 to 4 foot clean waves just constantly rolling in. And well, this is it. This is a bad thing, but also a good thing. It's like there's a big coal factory there. Why there's still coal factories in 2020, I do not know. It's ridiculous. But they use the seawater to cool whatever it is they have there, and then they put the seawater back. I mean, it's clean. It's just used for cooling, but it means the water is really, really warm. So I was just in there in November, mid-November, in the winter, in my swimming shorts, on my surfboard, swimming in the waves, and I was loving it. I was the only one in shorts. Everyone else had wetsuits on. They thought I was mad, but coming from Devon in the UK, I can say I've been in much colder. Even with a wetsuit on, it can get pretty icy at times. So it was not a problem for me. I've been doing the Wim Hof breathing every day, which supposedly gets you prepared for icy water and cold showers and things. I've had cold showers for quite a while now, maybe a couple of minutes every day. I put it on warm and then go cold, then warm again. But the cold shower gets me so energized, gets me bursting with energy, and I feel amazing as a result of it. and it's good for your immune system, it's good for your health, it's good for everything. It's like, look up the benefits. It is great. um, the Wim Hof breathing came after that, and I can't say it really helps me with the cold shower. Maybe because I got used to dealing with it another way, just like slow, calm breathing. But I recommend Wim Hof breathing like very, very highly. Yeah, do it every day, and you feel amazing. Um, I feel intensely amazing every time I do it, and I always have these like mini revelations. Like I'll solve a challenge that I wouldn't say is bugging me, but is in my mind. So I'm thinking like, how am I going to deal with this? And it always comes to me in that moment. So yeah, Wim Hof breathing. It's great. There's an app for it. There's 5 free sessions, but you can learn it and do it yourself. After those 5 sessions, it's quite a simple process. So yeah, look it up. Um, but the most magical thing about van life is the people I've met. There's a lot of people in these vans. I've met one person in particular, Altaf. He's like half Scottish, half Indian with a big beard, cool sunnies, fingernails painted black, like shorts, flip flop, just like he's been in his van like 10, 12 years or something, with his friend Jackie, and they've got this huge RV. It's like a big Mercedes and giant kayak on the roof, which he's not used apparently. And yeah, they are some of the most inspirational people I've ever met. We've had some really deep conversations, and when I hang out with them, we just attract these kinds of people in. Um, like these 3 kind of biker dudes walked up with big beards, like musty tattoos, all of this, and I was like, oh, wow. I was like, yeah, these guys could be trouble, but I removed my judgment from it immediately as soon as I recognized it, and I'm glad I did that because they were some of the nicest people I've ever met. We had some great conversation. They opened up about some stuff, and yeah, it was magical to see, and some positive movement happened as a result of that evening. Um, and I'm having more of these conversations as I travel around. I'm meeting all sorts of open-minded people, people that have been on the road for years, people that have been on the road for weeks, people on the road that intended on being on the road for days, but ended up being on the road for years or months or whatever. Uh, these people, all incredible, and I feel like this is a perfect life. I feel like I'm gonna end up buying some land or buying some or renting or doing something here because Portugal has this certain unique energy to it that I just can't quite describe. It has perfect weather. It attracts amazing people. There's van lifers all over the place. Um, yeah, I feel a real sense of belonging here. Um, I love my hometown. I love Torquay. I love my friends, and I really mean that. Like, I love them very deeply. I have some incredible friends. Uh, but something about Portugal makes me feel like I belong here. So, all I gotta say is watch this space, and we'll see what happens. For now, I'm gonna tune off because I've nearly spoke for 20 minutes, and you're probably bored to shit by now. Look out for my upcoming videos. I'll give you a tour of the van, tell you my story about how I nearly got stuck for, well, it could have been a very long time because it was a very desolate place. I'll tell you more about my adventures. I'll probably only post where I've got things that actually not just update you on what I've been up to, but actually bring a degree of kind of like spiritual learning and experience, and an element of my mindset growth and my internal world as well. It's going to be a mixture of both. So for now, ciao, and speak to you soon.